Hello, everyone. Macintosh here. All right, so this is, this is basically me announcing that I'm permanently on Linux now. I've made the decision to migrate towards Fedora KDE Plasma 6. And so far, crazy enough, like within less than a week, I was able to complete the migration, at least for the most part, from Windows 10 to Fedora Linux. I've heard quite a lot about Fedora. One of you actually mentioned about it on my comment section on my YouTube channel, and this has also been validated by some of the people within the Linux VR community. And so I was surprised by like how very like how do I put it? It feels a lot more fluid in one way or another. But of course, it has its quirks. I mean, every operating system has its quirks. Now, of course, this means I made some sacrifices. One of which is probably going to be very obvious to you for those of you who've been keeping an eye on my channel for quite a while. If you happen to notice, if I have to spell it out for you, I don't have eye tracking or lip tracking anymore. So I am no longer using my Pimax Crystal. I'm using the fallback headset, the Valve Index. And honestly, I don't think it wasn't too much loss of clarity. I see a little bit of the God rays sometimes. But other than that, though, it's surprisingly much more stable than I expected it, especially considering that I am not running on Steam VR, actually. I'm not. This is I'm recording this while using what's called Envision, which, if I understand it correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong. Envision utilizes Monado and OpenXR or Open Composite, maybe all three of them, in a way so that it will basically like integrate or basically make VR chat work in VR with any headset whatsoever. Most headsets, I think. And at the very least, it works pretty well with the Valve Index. And since VR chat uses or utilizes OpenXR, it works pretty well there. There's also Wyvern, which I have installed, but I've only had it installed because I was expecting a package for the Vive Focus Vision, which is a standalone headset. Wyvern, from what I understand, is perfect for standalone headsets like the Quest or the like Quest 3 or the Quest Pro or the Focus Vision. Big problem though, I had to get in touch with FedEx and I got in touch with HTC. It turns out FedEx lost the package completely. And so they refunded the whole money to me. And I was originally dead set in getting that because you know how I am. Like once I made up my mind, there's no going back. Although given like the financial circumstances I'm in, I might have to like reconsider at least for the time being until I'm more financially stable to purchase a more advanced headset. And that headset could have worked very well on Fedora Linux for all I know. So, anyways, now a while ago, there on the 19th of April, there was a small little pop-up event that we had here on the Event Horizon Lounge, and yeah, it wasn't all that big really. It was like I would say I think we had at the most like maybe like 10 people at any given time. Of course, it was small. I mean, we're relatively new group and we just established our own Discord presence and stuff like that, so baby steps. I'm pretty sure a lot of the major groups or club goers like to have their own groups probably had it small too, so I'm really hoping that the next time will be a little bigger. I'm not really put off by it, to be honest. I'm not. I was only expecting it not because like I was having low expectations, but because like I was just prepared mentally like understanding that we're not going to be popular overnight. Rome was not built in a day, as they always say. And so, just like how it took me way more than a day to prepare for Linux and stuff like that. And so, yeah. So I'm going to be promoting my group as well as the Discord more often when I can. And so, if you guys want, join the Discord, join the group. I'll post it on, well, I'm not sure if YouTube would let me post links without verifying first, which requires me to give them personal information, which I'm not really comfortable with. So I'll probably just edit it in the link in the video so that you can just see directly. And so, other than that, what does that mean now when I move to Linux? In regards to avatars and worlds that I work on, I'm primarily a world creator. I do work on avatars, but a lot of times I'm working on bases that are pre-existing, such as the the Evoli or the Galente Scout model that I happen to have, thanks to a close friend. So, well, what does that mean for, say, Unity projects? I found out that in regards to avatars, VRC Fury does not work very well, primarily because it often works through a repository that's accessed through VRChat Creator Companion. And VRChat Creator Companion does not seem to work well or at all on Linux. Therefore, I'm kind of short on that. I may have to double check. It is possible it might work under Fedora, but I have to double check. If any of you have been able to get a VRChat Creator Companion to work through Fedora, let me know. I'll check it out. And so VRC Fury is clearly out of the picture. Another thing is in regards to video players in VRChat, I found out that I needed to utilize some kind of like package or like a tar.jz or gz or oh god, that sounded wrong. The tar jizz package that basically adds another compatibility layer through Steam, so that I can play videos while on Linux, like in the worlds in VRChat. Because without it, if you try to go in straight, you won't be able to watch or listen to any of the videos. One little quirk I found out about Linux is that while the video players do work with this package that I had to like download from the GitHub repository, or was it GitLab? I can't remember. Anyways, one quirk I found out is that the video players sometimes bug out. Sometimes. Majority of the times they do work. So there will come a point where if you stay in the worlds, or like if you're on VRChat long enough, eventually you're going to run into a situation where the video players will break. Although I have stayed long enough for the videos to actually eventually recover. So yeah, it's kind of strange. Sometimes leaving VRChat and relogging in does not fix it. Trust me, I tried. I've even tried hopping to different worlds with different video players and back, and no dice. And so when it bugs out, it will bug out. You have no control over it. So you have to roll with it, okay? Now, as to my experience in VR, because I'm using Envision, what it does, it's actually subverting SteamVR entirely. I'm not using SteamVR at the moment. And so Envision honestly feels a little bit smooth. Like, it feels rather smooth. Like I can move my head around. I'm not losing frames, no jitters, no stuttering. It supports motion smoothing on Linux. SteamVR unfortunately does not have motion smoothing support on Linux. Let's see. The dashboard, well, it does have its own overlay system, although it could use some work, to be honest. Like, for example, if I were to bring up the dashboard, it's going to come out completely white. There is one for like to display the HDMI display, which I use as a workaround. Sometimes though, when I'm clicking, it's not like I wish I could show you actually, but it's like that I'm still trying to understand how OBS even works on the Linux. Turns out that it's not recording. It doesn't seem to have the option or a plugin for recording clients directly. So if you happen to notice a boundary, like if you happen to notice the taskbar down below and the window frame up above, that's recording the entire screen. That's a workaround for me, temporary. So, anyways, other than that, honestly, I got no regrets. Like, I've completely dumped Windows entirely. As I've said several times already, I am not going to upgrade to Windows 11 ever. I've already committed to the permanent life in Linux. There's no way you can change my mind at this point. So there's no going back. Like, I'm not going back to Windows whatsoever. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a weird experience having to like hop between the two, like because at my job we have Windows. You know, I'm an aircraft mechanic. We have to use the computer sometimes, which utilize Windows. I wonder if I think they use Windows XP. I don't know. Yeah, crazy. I know. So it's like kind of hopping between the two. I have to get used to different shortcuts. I have to learn a little bit more about the console or the terminal. The difference between super user and user, encryptions and stuff like that. A lot more things that I'm normally used to learning, but I am willing to learn. I do love a challenge. I prefer to push myself every now and then. How else do you think I managed to get so far? But of course, understanding Linux on my end was not possible without the help of close friends and members of the Linux VR community. And honestly, it's like, and also to one of you guys on the comment section, I mean, thank you for recommending Fedora. That's pretty damn good experience, really. And so I'm still learning. I'm still on my training wheels, but moving along as quickly as I can to set up everything. I still have my other PC that's running on Linux Mint. At least that one has Blender and Unity already pre-installed. So that's probably just going to be my workstation. And my big rig is going to be my Fedora VR station permanently. And honestly, I'm with an RX 6700 XT graphics card and a Ryzen 7 5800 processor. It's pretty damn good. It's got 32 gigabytes of RAM too. And that's old hardware, by the way. I've had this for a while, and so far, pretty damn stable. Still trying to get used to like the other hard drives, because I do have other hard drives, and I have to mount them every time I boot up the computer. But I seem to be struggling to get access to them. I may have to format them to work well under Linux, because for some odd reason, I can't seem to save or move files around on those drives, even though I can visibly see the files. Kind of strange. So, if any of you have any recommendations on how to get that working, because I tried to save, like, say, recordings and pictures and stuff like that onto those drives, the secondary and backup drives, but for some reason, And on top of that, like I'm still trying to understand why it's not permanently mounting the drives when I boot up. Like it's a bit annoying having to remount them every time I boot up Linux on my computer. But hey, I'm still on my training wheels. And so, to recap, before I finish this video, just going to recap real quick. I'm permanently on Linux now, no longer on Windows. Fuck Microsoft. Also, the Event Horizon Lounge not too long ago had a pop-up. Not that many people showed up, but the guys and I were not really fazed by it at all. We were kind of expecting it. Baby steps and all that. So, honestly, if you want, join the Warp. And, since I'm talking about, like, I just realized, I guess I don't have to edit in the links, because I just realized I still got the poster over here. Yeah, so that's the group code, warp.2180, and there's the link right there for the Discord. Let me zoom that in for you. You can just pause the video if you want to like type that in and join us there. So we're relatively small, but we want to grow. The idea, the theme behind the warp, which by the way, that's the symbol right there. Way up there, that's the symbol. Interesting little tidbit about that is that was actually created using UI elements that came from Dust 514. So let me just show you. Actually, I still got the sticker. So funny. Here we go. There you go. That's our logo. That's the Warp logo. And so the idea behind the Warp is that we basically party like we're New Eden, and that it's basically to promote the worlds that I made that are themed after either Dust 514 or EVE Online, or hopefully in the future maybe Vanguard. And interesting tidbit though about EVE Online is that the developers actually have their own in-house band. They do host their own little convention at the top of the world in Reykjavik, Iceland, every year, which, by the way, is going to be running on the first week of May. It's actually right around the corner, and people have already booked. They're probably already flying already in to Iceland. It's expensive apparently, and yeah. One day in my life, as part of my bucket list, I want to go to Iceland, and I want to go to FanFest. It's basically like part of the bucket list. It's like, trying to make it's a pilgrimage, because I'm an EVE Online player. I still have an active account in EVE Online, and I've also been part of the playtests for EVE Vanguard, and historically playtesting for Dust 514. So yeah, I've known CCP for quite a long time. Not personally, but anyone who has ever played EVE Online, Dust 514, playtested Vanguard, played EVE Valkyrie and Gunjack, those people like me at least understand CCP at a fundamental level. Not on a personal level maybe, but on a fundamental level we do understand them. And so beyond that, that's it. And so come join the group, join the Discord, party at the top of the world with us, and hopefully, I was really hoping to maybe host an instance here during FanFest, which is around the corner, but unfortunately I gotta go on a trip out of town, so during that time, sadly. I'll see if I can try to jump in on mobile, but I doubt it. I doubt I'll be able to do that. So that's it. I've been rambling longer than I thought. I mean, honestly, what do you expect? I'm a bit giddy knowing that I'm permanently now on Linux, doing this with full body tracking, VR, stable frame rates, and all. sometimes janky video player and no face tracking whatsoever. But hey, I'm here and I'm back. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And as usual, fly safe.